Yeah, we're making, well, our first check, we made $338 in 12 hours.
Wow.
Not bad.
Right? I know.
I don't think I'm in the DoorDash still.
Oh, it's pretty fun, I think. Although I dance in the Ring doorbells, so I want to be the dancing door dasher. So when you see me on the news because I'm famous, that's what I'm famous for.
There we go.
Got rich off of DoorDash, so well, I think it's 6 o'clock, so we have a quorum, so let's go ahead and get started. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Planning Commission held here on January 12th of 2021, and that still feels weird to say 2021. Before we get started, I'd just like to read a quick statement. I, Ryan Cowley, Chair of the Roy City Planning Commission, and in accordance with Utah Code Section 52-32074, have determined that conducting a meeting in the Roy City Council chambers presents a substantial risk to the health and safety of those who would be present. The basis for this determination is that due to the infectious nature and potentially dangerous health effect of contracting the COVID-19 virus, there is not sufficient space in the council chambers to provide appropriate, safe physical distancing for the safety individuals who would attend. Accordingly, the January 12th, 2021 meeting will be held electronically without an anchor location. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started with the Pledge of Allegiance. And I've asked Commissioner Brand to lead us in that.
I pledge allegiance to the United States. Can anybody hear me?
Yep.
Then I'll start again. I pledge the allegiance
To the flag
to the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands,
and
one nation,
one nation,
one nation, under
indivisible,
God.
indivisible,
liberty, and justice for all.
for all.
Thank
Close
you.
enough, gentlemen. Heart's in the right place.
All right, are there any declarations of conflicts with either of the items on the agenda tonight that any of the commissioners have?
Nope.
No.
Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to item 2, which was to be the approval of the December 8th minutes, but we have not received those back yet. So I'd entertain a motion to table that until our next meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Who was that who seconded it?
Jason.
Okay, Commissioner Spar seconded that. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Are there any opposed? Okay, so we'll table that for the next one. So we'll go on to item number 3, which is to consider a request for a site plan and architectural approval for fast signs located at approximately 5750 South, 1900 West. And I believe Brock Benyon is the applicant on that. Is he on the call?
He is. Let me promote him to a panelist so he can talk. Hey, Brock, you're on there.
Hey, how are you guys?
Hi, Brock.
Good, thanks.
Good. Welcome to our meeting. We'd like to give you just a few minutes here to kind of explain your project and what you would like to do and provide any other information for us you'd like us to have.
Yeah, is Trevor Broughton on? He has everything, our architect.
Okay. Yeah, he's on. Let me bring him on. And he'll probably want to be co-host so he can share. Okay, Trevor, you're on.
Hey, how are you guys today?
Good.
Good.
Thank you for having me. Do we have the slideshow up by any chance, Steve, that I had sent earlier today?
I can do it. Hold on.
Awesome.
Let's see. Fast signs. It is. Okay, so what does everybody see?
We see the landscape plan. So,
Okay.
All right, guys, this is really a pretty clean project for fast signs. It's going in an undeveloped piece of property right in between an auto parts store and a credit union.
Mine's Thank.
We have set the building back from the street a little bit to allow for a little bit of parking up front. We have a very small vestibule, which is where customers will actually interact for the project. So we don't need a ton of customer parking. Whatever we do need above and beyond that would be behind the project. There's actually some parking stalls that should be shown back there behind it. Water retention would be up front against 1900 West, and landscaping would pretty much fill that space up as well. We have a 45-degree angle on the north corner that mixes up the look of the building just a little bit, shakes it up, and gets some dimension and some character to it, with a really nice awning that steps out and shades the glass from the evening sun that will still penetrate that corner. So we hit the next slide, Steve.
Maybe. I'm on. Oh, there we go. Yep. Okay.
All right. This one we won't spend a ton of time on, but you can see that VCS showroom over there on the left. That's basically all the space that that customers will be in there. The rest of it is just production, with a couple of offices for Brock and his father. A very, very simple plan, small conference room up front if they need to discuss a project with the customer. All right, next slide. What we're proposing is a very simple CMU facility that has a split face concrete block rather than the smooth stuff that everybody equates with affordable construction. This is still affordable, but it's a very nice look. There's a great contrast with the dark stone and the light stone. It gives a lot of dimension just looking at it from the road. So you're going to see we've actually modified this slightly from our original submittal because we saw your comments that that south side needed an additional bump out to add some dimension. We've done that, as you'll see on that lower elevation. Overall, there's a little bit of glass, but really it's a production facility that's going to be real nice and sleek and tuck into that undeveloped area very nicely. And then the next slide, I think, is just a couple of really rough renderings that kind of show how that feels, how it steps back away from the road on that northwest corner. Yep. And would just give us a nice new business right there in Roy. Brock, do you have anything you'd like to add, bud?
You're on mute, Brock.
I hit the space bar, it didn't work. I think we're good. I think Trevor covered it. He's covered everything I think that we need. So hopefully at least, right?
Thank you very much. Do any of the commissioners have any questions for either Brock or Tyler about the project?
Just one. Are you closing your store in Riverdale or are you keeping that?
Yeah, we're keeping it. We're just moving it. We just need more space. That has about 2,300 square feet. This is just shy of 5,000, so we're doubling the space. So we're keeping it. We're just moving it.
Well, you're not keeping it.
So, well, we're not keeping it there, if that's what you're asking. I guess we'll close that one down and keep open just the Roy one.
Welcome to Roy.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions from anybody? Okay, thank you. We're going to give Steve just a minute to explain anything that he would like for us to know about the project.
As mentioned, this is just for site plan and architectural approval for the fast signs at approximately 5750 South, 1900 West. Kind of give you an overall aerial view of where the property is. You got Bank of America across the street, Zions Bank to the south of them, and then the auto parts store just to the north of them. So they'll have good visibility of both 1900 West and have the back towards I-15. as the site plan goes, this is kind of what they've proposed. Within the staff report, you see some of the issues that there are within the ordinance that they would need to modify. But again, the concerns and issues that were brought up in the planning portion of the DRC memo aren't sufficient enough, I believe, that would prohibit from the Planning Commission to continue on. Some of the modifications, as you've seen tonight, have already been changed. Some of the architectural ones don't really affect anything. Some of the site plan stuff are small. Parking will be one of those things, but some of the questions may, when they answer them all, may compute that, there's little changes. The great thing is they do have a lot of stuff to the east of the building that if parking becomes an issue, we can add more stalls if need be there. They meet the landscaping requirements already. Most of that's just in the front. Again, it's just 10% of the site. So if they need to take some of the landscaping from the east and make parking, again, it's not going to change the overall appearance and stuff of the site if we need to do that. Building wise, looks like they've already kind of calculated some of the issues that were brought up. Theirs are much nice. The second versions are much nicer than the first. But again, the materials as they've got it, they got a white block. Can't really see it very well here, but it does meet the ordinance, and then contrasting it with a dark gray. It's kind of a medium gray, so to speak, but it does have a rough texture to it. Both of them do. And then the windows and trim and stuff like that will be, I assume, aluminum, Trevor, but even if
we would do a dark bronze storefront window.
Yeah, so the rest of it being colors of black and gray, just kind of match what they've got. So the building can meet the ordinance. Again, with the modifications they presented tonight that they've already looked at. Again, I don't think there'll be big issues. Again, as the staff report had shown, there was just some issues within the planning, but staff doesn't feel it's going to be any big issues that we'll have to negotiate to have them come back. So staff would recommend approving both the site plan and the architectural, just kind of with the conditions that current DRC memo and future ones, if there's still some outlanding things on additional reviews that need to be done, and then anything that comes up tonight. So, any questions? No?
Nope.
Sound like anybody's got any?
Other than, will this be 2 motions?
Yes, we'll need 2 motions, one for the site, one for the architecture.
I will entertain either of the 2 motions.
I move that we approve the site plan with the conditions that are stated in the DRC review. And as long as all comments are complied with and any conditions as stated in the staff report or during this planning commission meeting.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
And I didn't hear who that was.
That was me.
Okay, perfect. All right, Claude did that. All right, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the motion passes. I'll entertain the other motion if somebody would like to make that.
I move that we approve the architectural review with the conditions that all current and future DRC review comments are complied with, along with any conditions as stated in the staff report or during this planning commission meeting.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, that was Commissioner Bills. So we'll go ahead. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, passes unanimously. All right, so we'll move on to agenda item number 4, which is to consider. Thank you, Tyler and Brock, for joining us. We appreciate you being
Thank you
here.
very
and
much
this
for the
is-
opportunity, guys.
This is an exciting thing for Roy. I know the old building, you know, was nice in location, but this will be a really nice addition there to 1900. So thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we
We're happy
wanted
to
to
have
come
the business.
back. Had the Ben Franklin, my dad owned, so we figured we'd come back to Roy after about a, what was it, 10, 11 year hiatus. So
I know it's such a short distance there, but
it really is.
it's good to be back in Roy.
3/4 of a mile from where we're at. So
Very good. Well, I'm excited to see what that looks like when it's finished. That area has really come a long ways the last few years. So, all right, so we'll move on to item number 4, which is to consider a request for architectural approval for Matrix Manufacturing, and that's located approximately 1910 West, 3350 South.
Unfortunate part is I don't see the applicant here, but it's really minor changes that need to be done or being requested. So I can present the project. Most of it is, as I'm bringing it up, is mainly due to a fire that occurred a few months ago. Don't know if you were aware, but there was a fire down there between West Haven and Roy along the DNRG trail. And their building had gotten a little bit of, a little burnt. So they were looking at how they can modify their building. One to remodel it, so to speak, and the other to modify it to kind of help with the things that they need. So all they're really doing is an architectural change to raise the roof, but let me kind of present where it is in relationship to everything. So aerial with the showing their site, where those apartments are is West Haven. The DNRG Railroad is in between Roy and West Haven. You got 1900 West. Then east of 1900 West, you have Ogden City. So it is kind of you got 3 cities within, a 2-block radius. The fire occurred kind of along in here. It did kind of damage a couple of these buildings. So they're looking, here's kind of their existing building. It's pretty flat, it's pretty plain. Manufacturing zone does allow for metal. So this is a 100% metal building. So what they're planning to do is just kind of raise the roof line 4 feet tall in a section of the building. So in essence, it really brings a lot more dimension into the building, a lot more shadow lines will be created when the sun goes down along the building. They're not changing anything along the front of the building where you see the matrix sign that faces the street. Most of it's interior. They're not going to change the wall because the fire was more on the back side. So if you look at a plain view, you'll get a 4-foot change in height of the roof line. Again, it's a very simple, very small modification to it, but it will bring a lot more dimension, a lot more character to the building that otherwise wouldn't have occurred. So staff would recommend approval of the architectural review with the conditions that are stated in the staff report. Any
Right. Does
questions?
anybody have any questions for Steve? I know usually I'm one that advocates strongly for the applicants to be here, but this one is such a minor change. Pretty straightforward. Are there any other comments or discussion from any of the commissioners?
No, I concur with you though on the applicant being present, but tonight with this, I don't have any objection.
Okay, if there's no further questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Okay, I move that we approve the architectural review with the conditions as stated in the staff report.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, Commissioner Mifflin seconded it. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay, the motion passes unanimously. So with that, we'll move on to commissioners' minute. I don't have anything. Do any other commissioners have anything that they would like to share with the group?
No,
No, do not.
Okay, Steve, we'll turn the time over to you for the staff update and anything that you've got for us.
I guess the mixed use ordinance for downtown, the council had approved to have a survey conducted to kind of get some more feedback from the general public. We're hoping that will take place in the month of January. We'll get the results back and that they can vote on it in the first meeting or second meeting of February. So I'm hoping that we can get this, completed so the downtown can start developing kind of how we foresaw it back in 2017. So I'm kind of I'm more than excited at that. It's been over 2 years. Some of you remember the first meetings we talked about how, materials and theme and stuff like that back in 2018. So it's been a long ride, but hopefully we're coming to a conclusion. Other than that, I can't say it's slow. We're getting a lot of small subdivisions, someone splitting their lot into two or moving a property line here or there. So I'm staying busy, but there's not a lot of things coming your way just of yet. Once I almost said some 4-letter words on this meeting, but as soon as the mixed use ordinance is approved, then we will proceed forward with the general plan. I've asked Morgan to put in this next month's magazine and also on Facebook that we're still looking for comments. So hopefully we can get some more. I know there have been several of them. So we'll proceed forward with that. I didn't want to convolute the council with both really big documents. So hopefully we get that going here for you guys in February and March.
It's great. It feels like a long time on that. So
Yeah.
I have something I forgot. Is it the wrong time?
Yes. No. Go ahead.
I just wanted to tell Roy City thank you for the gift card. It was nice that they mailed that to us.
Oh.
So thank you.
it was.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, Commissioner Mifflin, I think you'll be happy. I did hear or see on Facebook that the buffet is opening soon.
Yay!
That they have a date to open. So I was waiting for you to ask about it.
No,
Every time we drive by, I tell my husband, Annette's going to ask if this is going to be open.
Something else though, maybe Steve has an answer for me. So Village Inn is going to be the new Wasabi restaurant. What's going to happen to the other building now?
Well, that's part of the
Expansion.
widening of 56.
Okay.
So UDOT, generally it takes many years to get enough, get money to start acquiring. There we go. It's definitely a second Monday of the week. But anyway, but the state gave them about $12 million to start on some of it. So they started with the east side of town, just off of I-15. It's not done yet, but they are in negotiations with the property owner of both the Sinclair and the Japanese Wasabi place to purchase that property, because that will be impacted greatly when 5600 South and the interchange of 56 gets done. So, but I'm glad that we were able to keep that restaurant in the city.
Could have gone to Riverdale.
They could.
No,
But they didn't.
they
But,
couldn't.
yeah.
We wouldn't let them. No, I think it's great that they're able to stay here as well.
Yeah. So we're hoping that that building will suit them. Far as I know, they didn't have to make a lot of modifications to it, other than just adding a sushi bar. But I've never been in the Village Inn. I think it's bigger than their existing building. Not that COVID will allow them to have more people, but eventually, they'll maybe have a bigger crowd in there. So,
Sorry, I just got
It's
new
a lot-
business, so I'm stopping. Goodbye. I don't know how to stop.
It's a lot newer building than the old one, because the old one was there when I was a kid.
That was only 20 years ago, right?
Yeah, plus.
Plus a couple. Well, good. Are there any other questions or anything
I have
from any of the
questions,
commissioners or Steve?
Excuse me, Ryan. So the thrift store is no longer there. Dilly Dallas is there, and the thrift store evidently moved to Clinton. Is that the same thrift store?
yes.
Okay, so the place where Dilly Dally's was, I can't wait for them to open in the new location. What's going to happen to that? Do we know, or did you tell me and I forgot?
Well, it's kind of one of those, the current property owner is waiting for the mixed use ordinance to be approved.
Okay,
And then they will present something that they want to do.
okay. And it wasn't about food, everybody. It wasn't a restaurant.
It wasn't about a buffet. I just like to hear you say buffet. You just have the coolest accent when you say it. I love it.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right, so with that, I guess we're on to item number 7, and a motion is in order.
I motion that we adjourn the Planning Commission meeting of January 12th, 2020. Oh my goodness, 2021.
It's hard to say 21.
Right.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
All right, Commissioner Spar seconds it. All in favor, say aye.
Bye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Stay safe.
Hey, guys.